reflections from the other piece you read.
Right.
And
that was
deep.
right, and it was a comment. Well, I come out of the 70s.
Okay.
Okay, we're talking about birth control pills. All right, we're talking about women having a whole other kind of freedom that was never had before. All right, we're talking about women who could pick themselves and say, "Well, I want you." Okay, and women who could say goodbye before the man said goodbye. Okay, because all of this was different. Right? But all of that has to be altered now. Right? These young people will not be able to live the way I did. Whatever ways I expressed my sexuality in the 70s, I can't do that anymore, even though I'm still single. And the young people coming up now dare not do that, or they're going to die. Right? And it's plain as that. And so I'm very grateful to all the lovers I've known not to have dropped anything on me like that.
I did a piece some time ago. I think it was the last year. You know, after Magic Johnson had said that he was HIV positive, I did a piece called "The Loose Booty Blues," and I read it for some kids in the high school, and they just burst out laughing. I'm like, "Why y'all laughing?" And they're like, "Well, we know what you're talking about," and they do. And when I read it, and all the kids in the class just stood up and clapped. You know,
that's good.
They really understood what I was saying, and I wasn't saying what I was saying to be vulgar or anything like that. But I was giving a message, and I wanted them to understand what I was saying. You know, and the message was, that I love you. I want you to be safe, but I want you to know what it is that you're getting involved in. And that is so important. Please, if you will, share another piece of your choice with us, and give us the name of the book, which is Never as Strangers.
Never as Strangers. Okay. To black rapists and anyone else who just wants to have a good time. Hard as I be loving you, I still gotta fear you most of the time. I gotta fear you looking at me too hard. I gotta fear you asking me my name. I gotta fear you wanting to know where I live. I gotta fear you finding me and lying to me and trying to drape me and trying to take over my space. Trying to get over and on top of me. I be loving you close up and far away at the same time, from times present and eons past. I be loving the sheer electricity of you doing right and giving the world its balance with your pyramidal revolutionary miracles. Yet, hard as I be loving you, if you ever pick me to act your hatred out upon, I will not be sympathetic. I will not brotherize you. I will not be fair, and I will not be victim. If you mean to hurt me, then I mean to kill you, and I will be just as serious as you are.
Rapist.
Right.
What made you think of that? I guess that's a reflection on some relationship that you've had. That's
well, not just that I've known women to be raped. All right.
And observation too, then.
Right. And even if I had written it for today, it would cover that Mike Tyson affair, which no one knows anything about except him, the woman in question, and God. And anybody else who has a comment is speculating. And I'm really tired of hearing people talk about that because they don't know.
I also sense that you're talking about rape in another sense, not just physical, but I think mental rape, if you will, psychological rape.
That one's even harder. That one's even
harder. Than the physical.
Yeah, because there are all kinds of violations, all right? And people have to be a lot more respectful to one another. You don't take advantage of people simply because you can, all right? And men can be raped also, but usually that doesn't occur to men unless they go to jail. All right? And even there, the men who are doing the raping don't consider themselves homosexual. God only knows why they don't. All right? But no one has the right to do that to anyone. Okay? It's against nature. It's against God. It's against anything that's live and beautiful and worthy of breathing. You know, no one has the right to do that.
And now, they're talking about homosexuals in the military and all of that. That's such a big issue. Like, there wasn't homosexuals in the military before.
Hello. Okay.
They've been there all along. I mean, hey, who are we fooling?
Right.
I think it's really a diversionary tactic or something.
It is, because what they should have dealt with when he first came into office was us. Are you going to stop racism? No. We're going straight over here and talk about homosexuality. All right?
Yeah.
And too often, people who do take up the cause for rights for homosexuals, they always want to make analogies between that and our rights. And I'm tired of that too. No, it is not. Okay? And they should not do that. They need to be a little more accurate.
Well, I think they do it because they feel if they do it, then they can get a few more brownie points. They can get a little further ahead. They can say, well, our struggle is, it's like the black struggle.
Right. Everybody comes in on the tail end of civil rights. Well, were you out there being hosed down, set afire, lynched? Okay, I mean, come on. Were you?
When you write, sister, do you pick the things you write about, or they pick you?
Both.
Both ways.
Both.
Mm.
Anger motivates me more than anything.
Mm.
Okay. If I see gross injustice, then I'm on it. Right.
Mm.
And of course, occasionally, when something very beautiful happens to me, or I witness something beautiful, then that will be written about as well.
Just as well.
Yes.
How do you focus in, though? I mean, when it first comes to you, how you focus in? Because sometimes people say, "Oh, I sat down and wrote the whole poem at the same time that it came to me." Does it happen like that, or you just work on it?
Not always. Sometimes I might just write one-liners down for months. Just one line of something pops into my head, and I'll write it down for months. Then I'll type all of those up, and then when I'm actually ready to work, I sit down and I look at those, and sometimes an entire poem will grow around the one line. Okay, I heard a sister one day in the street talking about Koreans selling flowers. They were selling flowers on the ground, and she walked by and she put her hands on her hips. She says, "I'm tired of those MFs. They always selling something." Okay, that became the title of the poem. All right. And I explained that was not racism that she was expressing. All she was saying is that she was tired of people coming from someplace else to her home and being able to make more money than she could make, and being able to exploit her in ways that she couldn't even exploit herself.
I'm glad you said that, because that brings me to the fantastic book, Dr. Carter G. Woodson's book, The Miseducation of Neighbor, because he talks about that in his book. The book is so pertinent. When I read it, I thought he wrote it last week. Because he talks about that in the book, how foreigners come here, and they come here and see this is, land of milk and honey and all that. So they'll come here with the same kind of attitude that we've been ingrained with for 400 years.
No, and usually the reason why you'll find so much tension sometimes between the black community and these people that come in, they come in and will step right over our backs to get what they want.
Step on and over.
Okay, really. And I've heard some people say, well, if black people would get together and do such and such thing. No. These people have sponsors a lot of times. Allowances are made for them that are not made for us. All right, and we need to know what those things are, because they're done in a legal way, and it's slipped right on past us. Okay.
But they also use their culture also, don't they?
They do.
Cultural ties.
A lot of times it might be people who, under a war situation, were in cahoots with America when they shouldn't have been. Okay, they should have been. They should have had allegiance to their own government and their own culture, but they made that money by being in cahoots with America, and then eventually come over here with that money and set themselves up in business.